It says there's 2 people in chat. I don't know if people are just watching me, just sitting here like, "La, la, la. Hey, Jill. Hey, Berlin." I didn't know if I was going to go live. 1, because I have a headache and didn't sleep well. 2, because I didn't know if everybody was busy and, like, just depleted from all of the chaos. So we'll see how long this lasts. How are you guys? Did you have a good Christmas? Um, I guess I'll just start talking. I don't know, this is weird. Um, yeah, last night I had a hard time falling asleep. I didn't fall asleep until almost 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I woke up at 8:45. So I went to go take a nap, and Matt is playing WoW with friends, so he's talking on Discord. So just as I'd be falling asleep, he'd say something and wake me up. Anyway, I'm glad you had a good Christmas, Berlin. Jill, I'm sorry yours was horrible. We ended up just staying in, thankfully. It was just the 3 of us. Um, I'm tired. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I have like over 100 videos to catch up on YouTube now with all of the premieres and stuff. So that's a lot. Um, Wave 3 is currently printing besides Floral Lovers, which Floral Lovers is the black couple. Um, I'm not sure about the skin on them. They charted it and it was lots of red and fuchsia, which they do have an overlay on their face, so it's makes it even more difficult than it already is. But I had them change some of the DMCs to brown tones that I gave them. But I was like, I don't know, like I can't visualize this. They sent me a mock-up and that doesn't look great. So I asked if they could send me a sample of each one for me to just work on their skin and her necklaces to see how it comes out. So I don't know if that's going to come together with the rest of wave 3 or not, but I'm just going to go ahead with wave 3 with what we have. So there's going to be 4 new images and a restock on butterfly wings. My lighting in here sucks. It's even worse because something blew out. And then I know Lunar New Year's coming up, but I always thought like it's towards the end of January and they close into through most of February at least. But no, they're closing early January. So basically, I'm gonna get these and then they're closing. So it's gonna be a little bit of a gap. Hi, my Laura, my bestie. It's gonna be a little bit of a gap before we can release the next wave, but I already know, like I have licensed images from our current artists, all of the ones that are featured in wave 3. I have more pieces from each of them. They're going to be in wave 4. I've started reaching out to a few artists that were on the maybe list. And then I want to release a few Public domain, old masters. I have just two artists that I really like. Um, so I do want to feature those and get those out because everyone's doing Muga, and I wanted to do something different that's my spin on it and my style. Um, so yeah, chat's not really happening. That's okay. Um, so yeah, we'll see how Floral Lovers works up. Um, she offered for that to be hand charted, and I contemplated that, and I thought about that right off the bat. Um, but the designers don't have the actual drills in front of them when they're charting. So, like, 154 is titled Grape Light, but it is a deep wine. It's not light at all. And there's some red in it. It's more like a maroon burgundy. Um, so they don't have the ones actually in front of them. So I said, but if I don't like it, I still have to pay for it, right? And she said yes. So if I have to, I will. Yeah. Randy showed me a website that she uses that has it's color theory. So you put in a DMC and they show you similar ones to if you want to adjust it a little bit. What's close to that, but a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, and it has it titled as light. It's not light. So I'm gonna see how these two work up. If I have to, I'll have them hand design it. But I also know I'm being really picky, and that's kind of why I was afraid to have them hand chart it. Because even though I know I'm paying for the extra work, it's a lot of extra work on the designer. And if I nitpick it, like I don't want them to hate me. um, so yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Um, I wanted it out for February. Like I wanted it out some point in January so that it'd be available for February because it hits both like love and Valentine's Day and also Black History Month, which is why I chose that image because I have other POC pieces I could have picked. But I picked the hardest one to render. Of course I did. Live and you learn. No, Laura, no New Year's plan. Same as Christmas. We're just hanging out at home. I'm sure Matt and Aiden will both be asleep before midnight on New Year's Eve. So I will be awake diamond painting by myself. And that's just fine with me. Yeah, Berlin. They asked because they said, like, you're going to come on here on camera right now.
Nope.
With your alfalfa hair and.
It's because I have my hood on.
You have a hood, but shorts. Sorry. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, they asked me if I had a timeline because they said maybe after the spring festival, like for release. And I'm like, that is completely fine with me. Like, I had originally planned for February because of Black History Month and everything, but I also want it to be perfect. I want people to be happy to buy it. Are you done playing? Laura says hi.
Hi, Laura.
I want people to be happy to buy it. So I would rather they're sending me one of each render, one of the more ready one of the brown one, so I can work it up and I can post it and I can get opinions on people from people on what they like, what they don't like, what they think needs changing, so that it's and I like this kind of like I'm seeing the positive in it. Like it's a more collaborative effort so that people who really care about the fact that it's people of color and diversity and inclusive, um, and the people who relate to that image like they don't to most images out there. Okay, Laura, message me after, let me know. Um, they get to put input in on it too and feel like they helped with it. So Berlin says hi. I don't know if you're in chat.
Who?
Berlin.
Oh, hi, Berlin.
He says hi. He's about to hop in. So yeah, I kind of like it being a good collaborative effort, and it's not just like, here's what we finished. You guys buy it if you want it. Um, it feels like it's our community project. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I told them, I'm like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Like, I would rather it be perfect. Hi, Angie. I would rather it be perfect and people would be happy to buy it and be secure in knowing what it's going to look like than buy it with hesitation or uncertainty about how it's going to look and if it's going to be red. So I don't want to lose all the red and the pink, because with a pink overlay on brown skin, like I showed you the 154, the gentleman is very dark skinned. So when you put pink over dark brown, that's kind of the color you get. So I don't want to lose all of that, but I want people to be able to look at the piece and identify that this is a Black couple. I don't want them to look like an alien pinky purple. Like, the whole point of licensing it was because I wanted to be diverse and I want to show people of all different cultures. So we have wave 2, Lady of Stained Glass, is an Asian woman. Wave 3, we have the Black couple. The artist who did that has some like Hindu goddess ones that he's done. So I'd like to license some of those. They are really pretty. And again, not everyone in the community is white and black. I'm trying to find Latino. So as much diversity as I can find, I want to include while still sticking to our vision. Hi, Tink. How are you? Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Matt like closed the door. I don't know if he's making hot dogs for Raiden. Um, but yeah. So wave 3's printing, then it'll come. We'll go ahead and get those sent out for sneak. Well, peekaboos. Um, release those, and then there'll be a little bit of a break in how quickly we've been releasing for their spring holidays. Yeah. I'm staring down at Galaxy Girl. I'm super disappointed. If you don't have this kit, these, they look pretty. They look clean, even in the tray. But when you start placing it, no ma'am. In the words of Laura, no ma'am. So I placed some and I hated it. And then the next day, I didn't want to touch diamond painting because I knew I was going to have an even bigger section. I don't want to make you guys nauseous, but if you want to see pictures of what I'm talking about, I will show you. But I knew I was going to have an even bigger section of those drills to try to do, and it was trying to push all of the plain DMCs a little bit and squeeze them tight because they fit nicely, but you don't have to like use a straightener to keep pushing things together to fit. Um, but I was having to do that with these. I was having to use a straightener to try to get them within the lines they were supposed to be and squeezing other drills around it away to create more space. And I would do that. Sure, Bubba. I would do that and I got most of it done. They would be popping. I used a roller to try to get everything stick down and drills would just come off. Like I was afraid to stand the canvas upright because I knew that a bunch of drills were going to fall off. So that first day after I took the day off because I didn't want to deal with it again, I was like, you know what? I'm picking these all off. I'm starting over. I'm going to try to use clean ones. Um, Tink wants them too, Bubba. If you're not reading chat, she wants some grilled cheese. Um, so I pulled them off, tried to use what looked clean, and I got through most of this whole part of ribbon where they're all together and was like, no, I can't do this. Can't. I'm not going to do this. And if I don't want to do this, then I'm not going to make anybody else do this. So I need to find drills. And I had already on Christmas Eve tried to find drills and couldn't find any. So I talked to our manufacturer and she was going to send replacements. But if these are that bad, there's no guarantee the replacements are going to be any better. So yeah, I sold some Diamond Art Club kits. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning when I got that figured out and got payment on PayPal and immediately went to Shimmering Canvases, found out exactly how many I needed. Which to replace everything in all the kits we have is 25 kits, 50 bags. I needed 2 bags of each for each kit. So I bought as much as I could with my own personal money so that I didn't put the business in more debt to fix this. I bought like 26. I don't want to say too much because I don't want people to feel like they can go to the small shop and try to negotiate their regular everyday purchases and put her on the spot. But I bought as much as I could and I had messaged her, but I wasn't expecting to hear back until the next day. So I said, hey, here's what's going on. I need this many bags. Is there any way that you can facilitate for me, like be the middle person to buy a bunch through your manufacturer on my behalf and work out a deal? She apparently had enough to cover everything and she gave me an awesome deal. And went so far as to immediately package it up, stick a sticker on the box, and take it to the post office. I'm not sure where she's located. I think Arizona. So it was still like 11 o'clock at night her time. But she immediately went to the post office and dropped it off so that it would come priority. I picked priority when I bought the ones that I bought. So she's like, I'll go ahead and send it priority. And she got it to the post office. She's like, I'm going to go ahead and drop it off now because otherwise I won't be able to get it there until after 4 p.m. tomorrow. So she was awesome. Laura, send me your test results, please. if anything is wrong. But if everything is okay, please say so in chat. Okay. Matt, do not. I want to see Laura. Okay, I do. I want to see Laura, but I don't want to see Laura and have to protect you from being murdered. I got it, Laura. Thank you. I don't want to say too much. Cooter. She messaged me at like 2:30 and I had just woken up. And she was like, "Are you no live today?" She hadn't seen the post. And I was like, "I don't know, should I?" And she didn't answer. So I said, "I'm guessing no." And she just responded a couple minutes ago. It was like, "Sorry, I was making the kiddos lunch and the headphones didn't tell me you texted me. If you want to go live, then do it. Totally up to you." I've been live. Yeah, that's why that is low. Mm-hmm. You should have gone to KFC and got mashed potatoes because there's milk in that. There's other things with vitamin D in it, though. You can take over the counter. I think I no, was it D or B that I was taking? I don't know. I think B for energy because my vitamin B was low when they did it when I was having my back problems. Um, yeah, I don't know what to talk about. It's kind of awkward because like this is the Lazy River channel, so I feel like all I need really should be talking about is business stuff or like the family and not address anything that's been said on my personal account. But yeah, um, I don't know. Y'all let me know. You direct this conversation because I don't know what I'm supposed to or not supposed to, or what you want to hear or don't want to hear. Yeah, Tink, we aren't doing nothing. So I'm ready. We did have someone new in our neighborhood posted something about fireworks on New Year's. But it was kind of confusing because they were talking about a football game, like a championship game. And I don't know if that's on New Year's Day. And that kind of affects. Hi, Randy. Well, Matt said I wasn't going live, but I started late. I started at like 2:30. Elizabeth is here. Hi, my friends. Um, I didn't think Elizabeth was gonna come because she's in the cabin and there's no internet. Um, oh my neck. It's so dark in here, god damn it. Anyway, they asked about fireworks and if we were okay with the fireworks. One of our neighbors talking about because Matt knows who I'm talking about. Jeremy, he replied and was like, "We're totally fine with fireworks. Like that's not an issue. It's the yeah, we got to find out which one. It's the people in the house behind me who like to shoot guns." And he was shading the people who shoot the guns. And they're like, I've seen so many stories of, them shooting guns in the air and all of a sudden a bullet comes through your roof. And it's crazy the things you have to worry about when you have kids. So hopefully they don't do it this year because I've definitely called the police before. I don't remember if it was New Year's or 4th of July, but it was like 4 or 5 days after on a Wednesday at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I can't sleep at night. So I was up watching television, and all of a sudden, I hear this loud bang coming from behind my house. And I didn't know what it was. It sounded like a gun. So I'm like, these people have had their house raided before for drugs. Um, like there was a dent in their door forever from the police knocking it down. Um, so I didn't know there was a dispute and somebody got shot. I had no idea what happened. Mind you, we also have 3 dogs. They're inside at night. But if people are doing fireworks, like I would like to have a heads up on what day, what time, so that our dogs can get their business done before and after, not during. Um, and New Year's Day falls on Sunday. So if if the championship game is on New Year's Day and they're shooting off fireworks at 11, 12 o'clock at night, Matt has to work the next day. And he's in bed at like 8, 9 and has to get up at 3:15, 3:30, something like that. So I'd like my husband to be able to sleep for work. Like I'd rather you not do it super late if it's going to be on Sunday night. Oh, I don't want to be that neighbor. Laura, we live in a good neighborhood aside from that one house, and it had to be the house that's right behind us. And thankfully, we haven't had an issue in a while because GPSs have updated. Our house was a new build. It took a long time for GPS to even recognize the streets and that there was a neighborhood here. We once had a birthday party for Matt, and one of our friends was told to park across a pond from our house and walk through the pond to get to our house. So, um, but yeah, I've talked about this before. The way our development is set up, our house was supposed to face the side street, not the main street. So we were supposed to be 1,000. I'm making up a number. That's not the actual thing. But we were supposed to be 1,000 Orange Street. And then that house that's behind us was supposed to be on the side of us and be 1,002 Orange Street. Well, that's what I said, Laura. Because I asked him when he went back and he said Monday. And I said, oh, and he's like, why? And I was like, because like the nationally recognized is on Monday since it falls on already an off day. Um, well, then at the last minute, they decided to make our house the other way. And the house before ours, like right when you enter the development, is 1,000 Purple Street. Now we're 1,002 Purple Street. And the house that was already there on the side street is 1,002 Orange Street. But when their drug friends want to come and get drugs, there's no GPS, and they see 1002 and we're on the corner of Purple and Orange Street, they think it's our house. Coffee. I had coffee this morning. I took a nap and I'm finishing my coffee because I don't mind. This is my diamond painting mug. Um, Matt's company's a mess. They close down the week of 4th of July and they close down the week between Christmas and New Year. So they have to save some of their vacation days to use during that period of time, even if they're available to work. The buildings are closed. There's no work. Um, so yeah, we've had a few times where people have come knocking on our door that are kind of shady and we have no idea who they are. Um, one person was driving like a crazy person and drove through our lawn, swerving and speeding. But yeah, I was terrified. When people were coming to our house and they were asking, like, is this 1002 Orange? And I'll be like, no, that's the house behind us. But it was terrifying because I'm like, if they are selling drugs out of their house and somebody gets something bad and they think our house is the drug house, where are the problems coming? Thank you. They've been kind of a pain in the butt because I try to use a different glue than I normally use. This is the glue I normally use, and it works really well, maybe too well. Like it's hard to take them off, and my real nails were weak. So I bought this kind, even though I don't normally like Kiss. I bought this kind because it's supposed to have vitamins in it that are to strengthen your nails, but it don't work well. So over the past few days, they've been falling off, and I've been having to switch to the one I actually use. No, I need them to move for real. That's why when I thought I heard gunshots firing, it wouldn't have surprised me, and I called the police. I'm like, I don't know. It ended up being leftover fireworks that they decided to shoot off at 2 a.m. on a random Wednesday morning, but maybe they would have caught something. I don't know. But yeah, we have the dogs. So if people start fireworks and we don't know, and these dumbasses come out with their guns shooting them in the air, who's to say that they won't come down in my yard where my dogs are? So that's fun. Hi, Carol. I need to have a map in my yard. Like, you are here. Drug house is here. Summertime orgy house is here. The people who want to make us a swinging neighborhood are back there. The random lady who blasts music in the middle of the day and dances in her driveway like she's on drugs lives here. Um, I don't know. It's crazy. There was also a dispute not too long ago. I said hi, Carol, right? I don't know. My head hurts. Um, I know. Like we're like the destination. Um, there's one house that has dogs and they leave the dogs while they go to work. And apparently the dogs get out from the fence and they chased or went towards a gentleman, and he was afraid they were going to attack him. So he pulled out his gun and shot at the ground. And then they called animal control. Oh, Carol, don't worry. I started half an hour late too. I didn't start until 2:30. Um, and they called animal control. So then when the ones who lived there got home, they're like, our dogs have gone out before. There's never been any problems. Like, they've never attacked anybody. Where are my dogs? Are you telling me that they're at animal control because they're not home? And then it came out that a gun was involved. So that was a whole other issue because a neighbor was home that has children and was like, I don't know how I feel about people shooting guns, even if it's at the road and not aimed at anybody. If my kids came running out into the street, like, they can ricochet, you know? So I don't know what's happening in our development. Matt wants to move even more in the middle of nowhere. That's sounding more appealing, but it's already like 20 minutes to get anywhere good. We're we're pretty in a rural area if you haven't seen our downtown. um but also Matt's considered moving to Portugal, and that's sounding good too. I'll have like Cooter quit her job when we're doing well with the business. Cooter will quit her other job, and or Laura if Laura wants to, and you guys can run the United States operations and ship out canvases and stuff, and then I'll run the Europe ones. And that way people in Europe can get better shipping prices because I'll be in Europe. I think it's better, right? But Lori, you can come visit. It's on the ocean. It's nice. Rural. It's easy. I don't understand how people have and oh my God, Shay. Lori. Lori. Yes, yes. Laura, it's a business expense, tax deductible. Why are you going, wah? Because I said rural? Or did you not see Shay's trying to say literally? I felt so bad because she asked me for a word and I didn't realize that she wanted this whole story. I thought she just wanted the word, that she was just going to clip in all of these words together. Oh, Shay's word was literally, but she said literally. Um, but yeah, I thought she just wanted the word. So I was like, poinsettia. That's it. So she didn't include it because she's like, I thought you didn't want to participate. And I was like, oh my God, no. Because now you're thinking that I'm that asshole that was like, I don't want to do it. So I'm going to make a video, but make it unusable to spite you. And that's not at all. Yeah, I only got to see a few too, Elizabeth. I have a whole queue of ones. Like, some I was able to catch live, the ones, and Bev's, I was able to catch hers live, but I was so busy looking for crystals that I didn't pay attention, so I need to rewatch it. Um, but I have like 100 videos to watch. So who knows? I'll probably be watching those in July. You need to make Dennis flashcards with our pictures. And if anyone sees me in chat, it's Anna Moni right now. Anna, last name Moni, because of Randy's live premiere. Apparently, that was hi Sophie. Yeah, I decided to go live late when I woke up from my nap. Um, Damn it, what was I gonna say? I don't know. My brain doesn't work when I have a headache. Oh, people's word was anemone, and everyone was struggling to say anemone. And someone in chat jokingly was like, anemone, like making fun of how someone pronounced it. I don't remember which person it was, but I saw anemone in chat and I was like, oh, that's a good name. So it's anemone now. Will it stay anemone until I find a new name? Will I go back to Aunt Poonie? Who knows? I like to keep them guessing. Right, Laura? Laura had a doctor's appointment she didn't want to go to. And I was like, she's like, tell me I don't have to go. And I was like, you don't have to go. But then you'll have to pay a cancellation fee. And then you'll have to rebook your appointment when your insurance resets at the beginning of the year. And she's like, why do you always gotta be the voice of reason? And one, me being the voice of reason. Girl. So I was like, well, you won't change your name anymore, Cooter, even though you're my employee. Um, but I was like, I like to change it up, keep them guessing. Yeah, that sucks that you can't have medication because it's not like they can't be like, oh, she's gonna have this in her system because she needs this to get through the appointment. Carol, you don't have to get your boobs pancaked tomorrow, but would you rather get them waffled? That's not something that happens, but I'm trying to make you see like the positive that at least there's not holes being poked in. Um, she'll be normally 40, unless you have, I believe, normally 40, unless you have like family history. So I was supposed to have an appointment with the new neurologist who I cannot stand. I cannot find a good neurologist to save my life in this city. Um, yeah, my mom said she hasn't either. My boobies are very squishy, so I'm sure I'll be fine when I do need to do it. Um, no, Laura, 30 if you have no family history. You you got it. Oh, like you don't know what your family history is. Is that what you mean? Because I'm like, I'm 38 and they've never said I had to. And I have potential family history that's not confirmed because it was my grandmother and she didn't want to scare her kids, but she had surgery and lost a breast and said there was some kind of accident. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not going to eat on live. That just means I have to end soon. Look, I got grilled cheese. I'm trying not to make them fall off the plate. Look at my grilled cheese. Okay, I didn't want to put the adopted out there if you didn't want it out there. I was supposed to make chicken nacho casserole tonight, but now I don't have to. We just need to get new chicken because it needed to get used. But I can make it this weekend. Why a fork? I know, but I don't want to make you guys watch me eat. Okay, I need y'all right now. You can lurk again in a minute if you're here lurking. But Matt eats grilled cheese in a very disgusting way. Him and his dad. And I have a story after about that. But they make chocolate milk to have with their grilled cheese, and they dunk the sandwich in the chocolate milk before taking a bite. I'm sorry, to me, freaking fake yellow American cheese and chocolate milk
Shut your mouth. It is not disgusting.
does not go. If it is sweetened cream cheese or something, like a French toast with sweetened cream cheese, I would try that. But this is the yellow Kraft singles. Thank you. Thank you. You just heard him yelling at me. Okay, I'll eat. If you guys get mad, I'm sorry. So, when I was pregnant with Aiden, I had morning sickness through my entire pregnancy. Like, entire. Matt likes when I make grilled cheese because I don't make normal grilled cheese. I do like a Capri salad grilled cheese. So I put pesto, tomato, and slices of fresh mozzarella, and then I grill it, and he likes that a lot. I don't need to try it. I know I won't like it. Chocolate and Kraft singles does not go together. If I'm being too loud and it's bothering you guys, let me know. Sorry, cheese got on the plate. Can't waste the cheese. Don't get excited, Matthew, if you're watching. So when I was pregnant with Aiden, I was sick the entire time. There was other health issues when I was 7 months pregnant. There was a whip and chat about it. If you want me to just tell you now, let me know. But Aiden was born in May, and on Easter, so like a month before he was due, my father-in-law had come to visit. And we went to my mom's house for Easter. And thank you, Boba, for making mine first. And I actually felt pretty good that day. Like, I actually had an appetite and wanted to eat. And I ate a lot that day. And I was, like, stuffed. Matt decided he wanted lemon heads, so he left and went to Walmart with his sister. And Matt's dad mentioned the dunking the grilled cheese in chocolate milk, knowing how much it disgusted me. And I started dry heaving. And he kept talking about it over and over. I had to throw up. I ran to the bathroom, did not make it to the toilet. And he was in his 70s and had asbestos, COPD, all that stuff. So I'm home alone with him. So I have to clean up my own after a massive meal because he would not stop talking about grilled cheese and chocolate milk. And that is one of my bitter memories I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Matt doesn't like tomato soup. I wouldn't say that, Bubba, because I know you love your dad, and I don't want you to. But he did an asshole thing, not gonna lie. He did quite a few. But yeah, I was so mad because I'm like, the one day that I actually felt good and was able to eat and keep it down, and he ruined it. And then being 8 months pregnant, on my hands and knees, cleaning up the vomit all over the bathroom. Sorry, as I'm eating. Was not a fun time for me. Okay. I love you, Bubba. Your dad had his good moments. So yeah, anytime Matt makes my grilled cheese, I know he's gonna have it with chocolate milk. And then that memory comes up. What did the doctor say about vaping? Because there's two sides. There's the ones who are like, it's so bad for you, it's so much worse than smoking. And then there's some that say, it's so much better for you. Like, generally in the UK, doctors are all like, it's way better for you. But here, you do have to be careful with the juices or e-liquid because there is a chemical compound that some cheap e-liquid or homemade e-liquid contains that causes popcorn lung. That's bad. Yes. See, Angie, it's polyethylene glycol and flavoring, and I think that's it. Or if there's another one, I can't remember what it is, but there's very few chemicals in it. But within the flavoring, there's chemicals. Especially companies who make anything that's butter flavored, you want to make sure that company has a good reputation because it's the artificial butter that's usually the issue for popcorn lung. So if they're not buying high quality flavoring, there's a chance that that's in it. Yeah. Oh, and nicotine. Duh, I forgot about the most important one. It's polyethylene glycol, which is like they use it to purify the air in hospitals. flavoring, and then nicotine. But there's not the tar and all of those other chemicals that coat your lungs. That's the only thing I worry about, though, is that it tends to be a little bit sticky, like on your blinds and stuff. So I wonder if that has long-term effects. But for the short term, it's better than smoking, at least. Really, Bubba? I don't know. I don't have any empty boxes by me because I took out the trash. This one I wasn't sure about, the strawberry custard. Not too custardy. Very strawberry. It tastes like strawberry yogurt. Yay, Laura. I'm so proud of you. You did so good. I went back and forth so many times. You can ask Matt. I would get frustrated either not finding liquids I liked, or he, at the time, there wasn't really these disposable ones. It wasn't really the thing. It was making the coils yourself. So anytime my coils and my cotton would get gunky, I didn't know how to do it, and I'd have to ask Matt, and I felt like I was nagging him. So I would just be like, whatever, I don't want to ask him, so I'm just gonna go buy cigarettes. But yeah, it's still, Angie, it still fills that nicotine craving. You might have to try a few different brands, because one of the hardest parts is making sure you get enough of that throat hit too. When we first started vaping, another reason why I wasn't able to do it, I would get blisters and sores all in my mouth. And it was basically my body like detoxing from all of those chemicals in the cigarettes. Like when those weren't happening, because it was burning my mouth. So when my mouth was healing, I would get all these blisters and all that stuff, and it made it really painful, and I'd end up just going back to smoking. But I took a long break. Okay, I didn't know if you were still smoking. I took a long break and was smoking cigarettes, and then I started doing like the disposable ones with Matt, and that never happened again. Oh no, Tink. Maybe you have a visitor. The ghost of New Year's past telling you nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Oh, yeah, Sophie. I feel like you won't have as much regulation, even if you do find vape shops in other countries. Angie, dogs aren't much better. One of our dogs is a freak, the youngest, and he gets traumatized very easily. And if he's traumatized, he'll just sit there and stare at the wall for hours. And it freaks me out because I'm like, is he seeing something? is he like, are there roaches in the wall? What is he looking at? But no, he's just traumatized by something that happened outside, and he just like he also has been hiding behind the couch, and our couch is pressed up against the window, and nobody can fit back there. I don't know how he fits back there. Um, so Matt's been struggling with getting him out of there. Oh yeah, the filterless cigarettes. Ooh. Randy, I'm sorry if I gulp. I'm trying not to. But listen, I have a medical condition, okay? I have a deviated septum, and I had surgery when I was 16 to try to fix it. Yes, I am. I tried not to gulp. Did I gulp? And I had surgery to try to fix it, and they could only get back so far, and it was still crooked, and they couldn't get back far enough with the instruments that they had to completely fix it. So, like, this nostril is completely blocked all the time. Like, if I want to, I don't know, there's not space between the cartilage and where my nostril sits on this side. So that airway is closed. Thank you, Carol. See, I tried not to gulp. Matt, though, he was drinking out of his water bottle the other day, and he's like, I should sit next to Randy. Matthew, shut up. I love you, but shut up. Most boys are Tink. Not my boy, but most boys. Um, so yeah, most of you know Aiden's an ABA, and he had a friend that were really good. I believe it was when we launched wave 1 of diamond paintings. It was chaos that day because there were scoops and all that stuff, but Aiden had arranged a boys' day because I'm swirly. Um, Aiden's very laid back about communicating and like texting and stuff. He's also not good at talking about his emotions, and he gets frustrated really easily. His friend seems further ahead with that, where he communicates quite easily, but he's also very anxious. So if he texts Aiden and Aiden doesn't immediately text back, he thinks that something's wrong and Aiden's mad at him. So they've been having quite a few conflicts about all that. And apparently they're taking a break from their friendship. Like they'll still say hi and be friendly at ABA, but texting outside of ABA and hanging out is not happening. And it made me sad. Um, they had a conflict yesterday. They didn't fully resolve it, but it was time to go. And Aiden was just like, I just want to leave. So I talked to him a little bit. Matt had the other child's mom's number, so I called him and let him know, like, hey, can you message his mom and communicate this information that I found out with her so that if Zuri, oh, I didn't say that. Okay, if this child um does message Aiden and Aiden's not ready to message him back, I don't want him freaking out and panicking and being worried. But the child message back last night. Matt didn't see it until 2 o'clock in the morning. But Matt got a message back from the child, and he's like, I think I need to step away for a little while. Sometimes it's hard because I'm trying to help him and I get stressed out and I feel like I'm not being heard. Which is all completely valid, but I was like, ugh, I don't know how I'm going to tell Aiden. Thankfully, Matt started the conversation off because I didn't know how to. And Aiden seemed to agree that it's the best course right now is just to take a little bit of break. So it's still sad because I'm like, he was finally doing normal teenage boy stuff and hanging out with his friend, and now but yeah, he's taking it well. I think Aiden felt a lot of pressure too to like always have to respond right away, and he didn't really care for that. So I think they just need to learn how to tolerate different social. No, Sophie's not being harassed. He just had a friend. Yeah, I was surprised when the friend messaged Matt. The way that he communicated was like super mature. Aiden had a friend, but they're butting heads because they communicate in different styles. Okay, Laura, I love you. As far as my social, I said what I had to say on Instagram. I'm fine with leaving it at what was said on Instagram because if I elaborate too much, then it might give away who it's about. And it's not about doxing people and trying to ruin their reputation or make people not like them or see them differently, which is why I didn't name names. But the first one was hard, but that was really early in the year. Like, I've mostly dealt with that. It did come up again in the fall because this person took an extended break from the community, at least on Instagram. But then when they came back, they immediately started saying that it was still happening. And I had deactivated my account when they came back. So I don't know how I was bullying her and harassing her when I wasn't even on Instagram. Love you, Tink. The second one wasn't really so much about me. Lies were said about how she was left out when she wasn't, because I was communicating with her. But that part wasn't the part that bothered me. It was the targeted defaming a small business and comments being made about someone who was forced to be involved that had nothing to do with it, but because she had aligned on an event with somebody that was doing things they shouldn't have been doing, they were forced to get brought in, and then lies were told about her. That was my problem. So yeah, it's more about the small shop owner and the other person affected than it is about me or either A or B. I don't care. C was harder. And I'll go ahead and address it here because it was mentioned on a different platform. Someone made a comment to me because I knew immediately after I made these posts that there was a group chat. Um, someone made a comment that it hurts people's feelings, and I know who the person is that she's referring to, and it was person C, and not C, but the last little bit that was the hardest. And that's not my responsibility, sorry. If you're feeling hurt or embarrassed or any kind of way about what I said, I never named you. I kept it vague. And if you feel like it's easily identifiable that it's you, first of all, most people aren't guessing it's you. If they are guessing, um, most people still aren't being told who it is. And the fact that you're feeling hurt now is more you're hurt because of the choices that you made and how it might reflect on your reputation rather than feeling hurt that I messaged you 2 months ago looking for clarity and giving you the out and saying, if you don't want to be my friend anymore, just tell me, because I've been trying to be patient and I've been waiting, but I'm also watching you do all of this other stuff and making time for all this other stuff and not making time to talk to me. So she had an out, an easy out, and I would have just moved on. But instead, there was cryptic things said that left me feeling unsettled. And if it was a trying to let me down easy, it wasn't clear enough. Like, just be direct and let me know so I can move on. But the fact that you knew I was hurt and waited 2 months and how much it was hurting me to wait and see you not care to make the effort to work things out. And instead, you placate me and make me wait another 2 months and realize it on my own. That's where my problem is. That's why I'm more disappointed and upset. Because I would have just been like, okay, this is stupid, but it is what it is. She doesn't want to be my friend. That's fine. But her consideration was to make it easier for her by not addressing it directly and not care about what that would mean for me. So if you're hurt and upset because I shared how I felt about your behavior, like, I'm responsible for my feelings, but you're responsible for your behavior. Just like I'm responsible for the behavior that started it in the first place. I said what I said. I wouldn't take it back. So there's that. And I'm not going to say I'm perfect because me and Jade had a disagreement. And I'm not going to go into full details on all the things that led up to that point. But things were being talked about in her lives where I felt manipulated and pressured to agree to something when she never took the time to ask me privately or directly. And I felt like the fact that it was only being brought up on her lives put me in a position where I just needed to blindly agree, or else I looked petty or like a bitch, because they were like, oh, I need to see if I can do this. I just gotta check with Steph. And everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. You should do it. And all of that was pressure for me to say yes. And I had no details on exactly what it entailed, whether or not she was going to do exactly the same thing I was doing. And I snapped at her in her live and basically told her, like, I wish you would stop talking about this in a public space where I feel like a bitch if I don't say yes. And this is something that should have been handled privately. Should I have done that in front of a whole bunch of people? No. No. I could have called her and been like, what are you doing? Stop putting me in this position. But there was a whole lot of buildup before that. A whole lot of lack of communication. So I was communicating things. She wasn't communicating back to me. So when things played out, I viewed it completely differently than it actually was because she wasn't upfront and say, hey, this is what's going on. And at that point, it just felt like, can I not have anything that's mine? Like, are you going to do exactly what I'm doing? Because it was my idea. We've invested a lot of money. And if I just say yes and you do the exact same thing, but you up the prizes, then people aren't going to do mine. And I just spent all this money for nothing. So those details should have been worked out privately beforehand, before I'm asked for permission in front of all of her people. If it was in my live, if it was in a neutral live, that might have even been different. But it was in her live. And it's all her people and all her friends and all her customers. And they're going to side with her. So if I say no, I'm the bad guy. If I say, I don't know, it was brought up one time. My hands were very busy because I was doing scoops and I was trying to fill bags and labeling. And my hands, I could not type, I couldn't text. If anyone needed to talk to me during those days, I was up until the middle of the night bagging drills, trying to get it as much done quickly as I could. So everyone would have to call me and be on speaker so that my hands were free. And I tried to use that as an out to not respond the first time she brought it up in a live and I was there. Like, my hands are busy. You sure I can talk about anything? Because you just came in. Okay.
I'm done eating, so.
You're not even listening anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I'm in here now.
I know, but you said I'm done eating. Like, I'm not listening to you anymore. Things. There was a week. Waiting to see if she would reach out to me to do you. Because I keep occasionally going black screen.
It like freezes and then goes.
Okay, so I shouldn't talk during that, I guess.
No.
So yeah, I waited to see if she would message me or call me or anything to ask permission. He does not have a chocolate milk mustache. That's because he dunks. He doesn't drink. He dunks.
Well, I drink it afterwards.
I know. I felt she was the one that was asking for permission to step into an arena that I came up with the idea of how to transform it into diamond painting. And she didn't even know about it until I mentioned it on Elizabeth's live, and the very next day she's asking if she can do it too. So I waited a week She did not text, call, DM, nothing. She made no attempt at communicating with me. And then the following week, I started getting messages that she was asking permission again in her live. And that was the only time that it was being brought up, was in her lives. And it felt manipulative. It felt like, I'm going to put you on the spot, so you have to say yes. And again, there was a whole lot more behind that. And was I right in calling her out in her live and not privately messaging her and leaving it at just a private message that I sent? No. But it was also accumulation of dealing with the last person and what happened there that kind of rocked everything and made me question everybody. The timing of me trying to get everything ready for Scoops that weekend, our launch being that weekend, and prior history where there was a lack of communication between me and Jade. So yeah, I'm not making myself the martyr here. I haven't always handled everything right. People might not understand that I need to publicly say some things. But if I feel like there's an injustice or one of my friends is being done wrong or whatever, I shake furiously and I feel physically ill, like I'm going to vomit if I don't act. And I know in the end it's going to mentally drain me. And I know in the end I'm going to be exhausted. But if I don't exert that energy where it should be going, it's going everywhere on everyone. So I can't just watch. Yeah. I don't know. It's been hard because then I question everybody. I question what it's going to take for people to drop me. Like, what misstep am I going to make for people to say I'm not worth it anymore? Why should I care so much if I'm going to get hurt? Which is why I tried to leave. And then Laura and Cooter and Randy all deluge me with texts and refuse to let me leave. Especially Laura, she's scary, okay? And she's like, ma'am, you were going to respond to me or I will call your husband. Like, sometimes I wonder if I have, when Aiden was first, well, it took a couple years to get diagnosed with autism, but at first it was ADHD. His therapist was actually the first one to mention that she thought he had Asperger's syndrome. And immediately when she said that, we went to we were supposed to go to a party and we were late to the party because I'm like, no, we're driving to Savannah, which is like 45 minutes away, and
in the complete opposite direction.
And we're going to Barnes and Noble and I'm getting books. Like, I need to know how to help him and what to do. So we bought books and I would take notes on those books. And then we bought more books and I would take notes on those books. And once I found diamond painting, I stopped doing all that. But I had taken like 1,200 pages of notes on books and did a lot of reading and research. And one of the books that I had, it breaks down developmental stages. So like infant, toddler, young school age, adolescence, young adulthood, and it breaks down issues that will come up during that time. Um, Angie, I don't know. I hope you're okay with this, but you've said it on a whip and chat. So if you would like references and you would like to read this book, let me know and I will send you pictures of the cover. For real, Carol's like, because she wanted to call too, but she's like, I'm just gonna respect what Stephanie wants. I don't feel like I'm in a position that I can not call, that I can call and just ignore her. But yeah, I was reading all those books on things that Aiden was gonna face, how to help him, and I might have to leave the room if you want it right now, Angie. Let me know, or I can send you a picture after. Because I know you're struggling right now with your son, and there might be information in there that's helpful for his age. And there was a certain section that was about friendship and social aspects of friendship. And hi, Morgana. And it said that kids on the spectrum struggle to make friends. Duh. But first of all, they form their own idea of what friendship means, and they have very rigid rules around friendship. Lisa! Hi! I thought you'd be at work. Okay. I'll grab it after. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where it is. They have very rigid rules, very strict rules of what friendship is. And if people kind of veer off, that's it. Friendship's done. Friendship's over. And that part has always stuck with me because I've always felt like that like I have a certain moral code of what I would and wouldn't do to my friends and what I would and wouldn't do for my friends. And when that's not reciprocated in the exact way that I would want, it's shaky ground for me. So I'm like, are my expectations of people too high? Like, am I holding myself to a high standard of what I would do for my friends and expecting too much of other people to do for me as a friend? So that's a big thing that I've been reflecting on and trying to figure out, and I still don't really have an answer to. People who know everything that I'm really close to say no, that it's not unrealistic expectations, but I don't know. Because like Laura said, I agree with that. I don't expect my friends to agree with me all the time. I don't expect to agree with my friends all the time. Laura and I have very different upbringings, and on the important stuff and the stuff that we bond over is more important than the things that we disagree on. That has nothing to do with each other. So I feel I wouldn't give up a friend just because I didn't agree with their opinion. But is that expecting too much? Because I wouldn't do it? Is it okay for me to be upset that someone else isn't doing it? I don't know. It just now that the friendship has petered and slowly died over the past 4 months, um, it feels like the whole friendship was reduced to our opinion on this one thing, and everything else that we helped each other through and supported each other on, and the silly little jokes that we would make and the funny memes we would send to each other on a daily basis was all for nothing because we don't agree on this one thing. That's a business. It's not even a person. It's a business entity that she does not own. She doesn't know the owner. Um, I don't need her to publicly speak for me. I don't need her to publicly praise me or commend me or anything. Just don't say anything. Pretend like you didn't even see it. Disagree with me in private all you want. That's fine. I can live with that. But just dropping the whole friendship over a company is what it feels like it was reduced to. And I know she said she's hurt when I said that before, but the actions don't show me otherwise. Um, so yeah, I have to like I know people know who I'm talking about. People who are really good friends with her, people who are really good friends with me, they know who I'm referring to, but generally most people don't. Um, and I'm not trying to make her look bad, or else I would have said names. But I didn't think it was fair to her um let her overlook how much I was being hurt by her lack of action and lack of friendship. Um, it was haunting me. It was always leaving that little ember of maybe. It was questioning everybody, everyone that I met. What have they been told? Who are they already talking to? I personally know that some of the people involved in some of, not with this last person, I'm sure she's vented to her friends just like I vented to mine, and that's fine. Um, but situation A with the suicidal thing and the trashing a small business, people involved in those two were going behind my back and DMing people and bad mouthing me and telling people to stay away from me without telling them the entire story. So the ghost of what do they know? What do they think? Who's gotten to them? Um, are they genuine? Are they ride or die? Like, am I going to end up attaching too much to this person and caring too much and doing too much and find out later that everything I did for them, they wouldn't do for me? Um, so, yeah, footing was messy and I needed to get everything out. And I expanded a little bit more here without hopefully revealing too much about who I'm talking about. Um, I needed to get it out and have my closure on the friendship because clearly she's had hers and she's got nothing to say to me anymore, but I never got to give the closure on it. So here's how I felt. And now it's set down. I made my peace with it, and I can walk away without worrying about it anymore. And to be asked, like, how do I know you're I cried when the friendship first seemed to be completely ruined because of my opinion, um, and miscommunication there. And I cried and cried and cried like a freaking baby, ugly baby. Um, and then when I finally messaged her and was like, "Hey, what's up? Like, you said you wanted to still be friends. You made it seem like you had a lot of hope for us, but you've never made any attempt. And I've tried to be patient and give you time, but I'm seeing you make time for everyone else and not me. Like, what? I just let me know. Let me know if this is done so that I don't keep waiting and holding out to talk to you." Um, and that's when she asked, like, "How do I know you're not talking bad about me behind my back anymore?" And I'm like, "Clearly, you don't know me because if you knew me, like, I'm not gonna go to bat for you and defend you and do all that stuff and then turn around and talk bad about you because my feelings are hurt." I've talked to some people and I've told them they're people that know me and know you and wouldn't judge you like that. And I've told them that I'm hurt and sad and that you did something that hurt me. And as soon as I mentioned that you did that, you immediately undid that. Um, but there was still all this friction, and you seemed to have hope, and I wasn't so sure, and I had fear. So it was sharing sadness and fear, and not ever about bad mouthing. But now, after 4 months have passed, and I've come to terms with where things happen to lay. Now you can't worry about what I say behind your back because I'm not saying anything behind your back. Everything that I had to say was said out in the open. People don't know it's you, but you know it's you. So I'm going to go back. But I did see Laura said something about politics. And yes, there was a while I questioned Laura because of her friendship with someone that I didn't agree with politically. And it turns out that me and Laura don't completely align politically, but she also doesn't completely align with this other person politically. And that's okay because we're at the end of the day, Laura is still a freaking loyal ass friend who's been there for me, who lets me vent without judging me, who knows that I don't have malicious intent when I vent to her about feeling hurt about things, who goes above and beyond and does so much behind the scenes for this community that I know about. And maybe not everyone knows, but I know. And I respect that shit way more than what she thinks politically because she's still a badass friend. So, Cooter, I kind of agree, and I feel like that's the personality of the other person. But as time passed, it felt like I'm gonna make no attempt to interact with you unless you make the first attempt. So there's never a point for things to be okay again, unless I'm the one doing all the work. And it seemed like it was just placating, let you down softly, being kind of cryptic and vague. And I didn't pick up on it. And I would have, when I directly said, if you just want this friendship to be over, just let me know. Just do that. That would have hurt less. Okay. So yeah, there's only a couple of days left of this year, and I'd rather not spend the rest of this year talking about it. But as I said, things were brought up on another platform about people feeling hurt, and I feel like that needed to be addressed too, because their pain is not my responsibility. They only feel pain after I've shared my side, but they've never cared about my side and how I've been feeling all this time. So why care now? It's because it's not about me and how I felt. It's because you care about how it's affecting you. Laura. Hi, Tabby. I didn't see you here. Yep. That's what I'm doing this coming year, Laura. But I couldn't let the ghost of the last person continue to reflect on everything. And it wasn't fair to new people that I'm just meeting to be guarded. I mean, I'm going to be guarded because childhood trauma. Hello. If you're new here, my dad told me that he wished I was aborted so he never had to look at me because I was so ugly when I was 11. So that's always been an issue. That's always going to be an issue. But it's not fair for me to take my problems with other people within the community and carry it over into new people and wonder if they have other motives right off the bat because of what this previous history. So yeah, learn from them. I'm like doing the sign of the cross. This is my church. Learn from them and keep going. Start fresh. Lori, you said that Christmas was good with yours. Has something else happened? I know, Carol. You would have weaseled your way in anyway. Exactly, Morgana. And if I start questioning, like, have they been told to stay away from me and they're trying to stir shit up, or find out the details or whatever, um, that's not a good way to start. So, oh, I'm sure, Laura. I don't know if me and my dad would ever work through everything, especially because he's so Portuguese and there's all that communication issues and everything. But yeah, I need to focus on, like, people have said to me that it's really apparent how I care about our customers and care about our artists, and that's where my attention needs to be, is continuing to do that. And as our artists are growing, there's more that needs to be spread, so that's where all of this extra focus needs to go and not into people who have hurt me. Amen. But yeah, I'm excited about the drills. Dawn I've never talked to Dawn. I've maybe only ordered from her once or twice forever ago. But dang, she saved my day. Because I was stressing and I was anxious and I almost strangled Matt. Can I talk about that? I almost murdered my husband on Christmas Eve. If not him, his computer. Because 2 days before Christmas Eve was when I tried with the drills. The next day, did not want to diamond paint because I didn't want to deal with the drills. That alone was like, what am I going to do? And then when I sat down to diamond paint the next day and was like, okay, try to be more selective. And I saw the crystal charted into her face that I never noticed before. And I don't know how, because there's a ton of them. I'm like, this needs to be fixed now. Trying to find crystal squares on Alibaba that are AB. Oh. Could not find any. Finally, Matt's like, can I help you with this anything? And I'm like, yeah, help me find drills. And then he's sending me links to ones that are the wrong size and stuff. And I'm like, never mind.
No, they were the right size. They weren't crystal.
Oh yeah, they were just like plain. And I'm like, yeah. Which I have no problem finding those. Like plain ABs are easy. It's the crystal ABs and squares specifically that's hard to find.
You didn't tell me they had to be crystal.
But you knew they were the crystal that I was having issues with. Anyway. So I talked to Elizabeth. Elizabeth helped me through. Okay, Lisa. Both are round, right? You're still working on poinsettia tree and the manatee? Yeah, he was playing WoW with Sean. And so I talked to Elena, who's our contact, and she said they would send more, and that made me feel better initially until I tried working with them again. But I was like panicking, and I'm like, Matt, you can send like a mass email to everyone who bought Galaxy number 7, right? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, but you can like search Galaxy number 7 and bring up every invoice from people who have bought it and their email address is in there, right? Yes. Okay. I need you to send an email. And he was in the middle of running dungeons. And he kept playing. And I'm just like shooting daggers because I'm stressing. And I'm like, thankfully, like, this is just. It worked out that I was the first one to notice these problems. And also part of me was like panicking because CJ's friend Krista got it way before everybody else, and I thought she had already started on it, and I had told her to start from the top, which is where I start from, because she's never worked on a canvas this big, so I'm like, this is how I do it. And I was like, oh no, she's been working on it and she's been struggling with these crappy ass drills. And I mean, he could lure. If the house was on fire, he could stop in the middle of a dungeon. I'm like, oh no, she is working on it and she hates it and she's afraid to tell me because I'm licensing her friend's art and she doesn't want to ruin that. And oh my God, we need to get ahead of this before anyone comes and complains. Because being proactive in addressing it and fixing it before it's a big issue is really important for a small business. That we don't wait for someone to notice, but that I noticed and I'm doing everything I can to fix it. And he's just running his dungeon and running his dungeon, and I'm like, every second that passes is the potential for someone who bought that kit to pull that kit out to start working on it and complain. And I don't want anybody to complain. I want them to know it's being addressed before they stress out or have a miserable time working on it. But yeah, it went out, but I was so mad. Whew. Whew. Veronica, does the dungeon make it better? I feel like that makes it worse. Because it's not like, hey, I'm on the toilet right now. And the thing is, I don't have login for the website. I have to go on his computer in order to do anything on the website because I don't have the login info. And I can't get on the computer and send the email myself if he's on the computer. Thank you guys. I mean, Sean is, but can they not just like, Laura said you need to give me access on the laptop to the website stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, if they're in the middle of running the dungeon and Matt has to stop because of an emergency business issue that came up, I know how to do like all the shipping stuff. I do myself. But other than that, but yeah, if they have to stop in the middle of the dungeon, they can't just restart the dungeon after. But yeah, I was so mad, and I'm like, it's not only that, but it was like 3 o'clock. We were supposed to hang out with Aiden. Aiden had messaged me and was like, hey, let me know when you guys are ready to hang out and watch TV together. And I'm like, I'm trying to get this business thing taken care of, and Aiden's waiting on us, and all this other stuff.
It got taken care of, didn't
It did, but that's lucky that somebody wasn't happy because Bev was getting ready to start it. And like Bev's my friend, so thankfully she would probably message me privately and be like, hey, there's a problem here if she noticed it before I did. But I can't guarantee that everybody would privately address it. And I mean, when we put out a product, it should be up to a standard. Anyway. Yeah, I was mad. And then later, I felt bad because I knew that Laura was at her dad's on Christmas Eve, and Laura and Adam are like the only family that Sean has. there. So after we finished hanging out with Aiden, I was like, Sean's by himself. If you want to play with him, like now that the problem's been solved and we spent time with Aiden, you can play with your friend. Yeah, I'm hoping they send me more of the gold drills. Um, they made it sound like a non-issue, and they're like, round metal metallics aren't really done, so there shouldn't be that many. And I'm like, that's not true. It's much easier to find round metallic drills than it is to find square. And Carol actually did the math, and like 10% of the drills in there are round when they should be square. So they said they were going to send a packet. I'm hoping it's a big packet. But I feel like the gold metallic would be a lot. Yeah, she had 160 rounds, and the sum of what you need is 1,803. So about a little under 10%. Um, but yeah, that I'm not as concerned about. It was like not being able to find square AB crystals anywhere and feeling awkward about asking people I don't really talk to very often, like to work with me on it. But also, like, I can't just be like, hey, where the hell do you get these? Because I can't find them because they have to protect their business. So the metallics will be easier to address. Like, if it's not enough, I'm pretty sure I can find square metallic gold a lot easier than the crystal AB. Um, but the crystal AB was like, whatevs. I'm almost done with the top row, aside from the number twos. And I've got like, yeah, I'm like, I don't want it to dry out. And it's not sticking because I did everything but the number twos. So I had to put cover reminders to hold these in place to try to keep them from drying out. Um, but yeah, I'm almost done with the top row. And then I'm like, do I just take a break until they get here? They're supposed to get here on the 31st, the crystal ABs. I haven't gotten any tracking, but normally every time that we've had a wave of kits coming, they don't send me tracking. I don't understand. Or if they do send it, they send it like when it's about to arrive at our house. Normally it's UPS because I have the informed delivery thing on UPS too. Yes, Andy, because I buy the crystal drills, like the crystal AB rounds, but crystal AB square is just not happening in 2.7 millimeter. Um, or 2.5, sorry. Yay, Laura! But yeah, it's supposed to arrive in the next couple of days so I can fill in my spots. But I don't know when I'm gonna get the regular skin tone plain DMC number 2 from the vendor. So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna send enough. So I have to wait and see what they're gonna send, and then I have to be like, well, this is not gonna be enough because I need to send everybody like 200 apiece to make up for the ratio. But yeah, I think I'm also done talking because I've been on here for 2 hours. But I love you all very, very much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everyone understanding the issues with Galaxy number 7 and having a lot of grace. I appreciate you for being my friends. I appreciate you for letting me vent. I love you guys and have a happy new year. Maybe I'll see you in a live before then, but if not, happy new year. And I'll see you guys in 2023. Love you. Bye.